Hey everyone, it's TheBlaziking. I apologize for the super brightness, but it's like quarter after 4 in the afternoon, so of course the sun has to be positioned directly behind me. But I really wanted to record this video before I forgot about the things I wanted to say, like, other than the obvious, that this will be uploaded before any of the Pokemon Scarlet videos that I have. But, like, the reason I'm making this video is to give my, like, thoughts and opinions of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as a whole. I haven't played Violet yet, but like this is just talking story wise and all that shit. So first off, as far as new Pokemon go, a lot of them have really dumb names, like to be completely honest. Like there are Pokemon that literally just remove a letter from the animal they're taken after and that is the Pokemon name, which is kind of ridiculous, but meh. A lot of the names are just based off from the onomatopoeia of sounds that the thing they're based off from make. But most of the new Pokemon are really cool. Both new and things that are just different forms or evolutions of things that have already existed. To which that's not really a spoiler to say those exist because I mean Farigiraf was shown in a trailer, so we already knew there were some evolutions of former things. But now, as far as the story goes, let's start with the typical story: collect 8 gym badges, beat the Pokemon League, etc., etc., etc. That, when you take the path that's expected of you, is a really fun journey, honestly. Like, there was one or two semi-difficult gyms, but it was still a really fun journey from gym to gym to gym to gym. You know, sure, you had your annoying rival meeting you at half of them and insisting on battling on occasion, but I mean, let's also talk about Nimona for a minute. She's basically Hop and How, but she's more bearable because it's a girl. And, like, that might be just from my perspective, and we're not even going to take the age conversation in here. We're just going to mention that she's a cute girl, so being annoying is more tolerable regardless. But that's my thoughts on her. She's just as annoying as Hop and How, but at least she's nice to look at. But yeah, I like the gyms, the Elite Four, the Champion, they all have like more diverse personalities than we've seen in the past, and they're all just a couple of them are actually kind of difficult, and others not so much. But you know they make it seem like they are. Wow, the three storylines honestly was the least emotionally written up until the end, where like Jita, Nimona, everybody praises you for how well you have done. That was the most emotional part of that whole thing, especially the final battle post Elite Four that you have to do, which I'm not spoiling that fully, even though that's kind of predictable on what it is. That was incredibly emotional just because of how it was done, how it was constructed, how it was played out. But of the three stories, emotional wise, the ranking on that one is number three, in my opinion. Actually, number four if we're gonna get real about it, but get to that in a minute. Next, we'll talk about the Team Star operation, to which the end result was kind of predictable from the beginning. But, like, actually facing off against each Team Star member one after the other, at first it was, you know, about what you'd expect it to be, but by the second or third member, it gets incredibly emotional because it, like, shows you the past that they had a year and a half prior to the events of the game that led them to where they are now, and showing how close they got together and the things they did together. It just made it incredibly emotional from that aspect of things as well. And, well, once you see all of them together with their leader, that one final moment in that storyline was actually incredibly moving, is the word I'll use. because you got to see everyone's acceptance and thankfulness and all of the other cliche bullshit that I usually reject in life brought together in one scene, and it was beautiful. It was just beautiful on how that went. So that gets the third rating for the storylines being emotional and sad and depressing and stuff. I'll just pretend like that's something I fast. Now let's get to the third of the main story, in my opinion, on it. The Titans. You know, the thing you do with Arvin to go collect some plants and make delicious sandwiches and that whole thing. That started off as just being, a task. Get your Koraidon or Miraidon to get stronger abilities as you go. Even though they're not theoretically needed, they do help. But then around the third Titan, that becomes a gigantic emotional roller coaster, honestly. Especially if you're the kind of person like I am in those kind of situations. Like, seeing the story told how it was from that point onward literally brought tears to my eyes every single time. And you will see that with the playthrough of Scarlet that'll get uploaded starting as soon as I really think of I'm gonna upload just whole batches of stream footage or cut them up into 30-40 minute intervals. But yeah, you'll see me cry a lot in this series. Like, you think I cry a lot on the anime channel? No, this game has brought out more emotions than Kingdom Hearts did last time. I, mm. But yeah, as far as the whole of that, as far as emotional levels, that is number one. So, what's number two as far as emotional things go? That, ladies and gentlemen, is. I mean, if you want to avoid obvious spoilers, click off now, hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. Or skip to the end for my final thoughts of everything as a whole. Alright, if nobody skipped, well, then that means you want to hear my opinions. Or you just don't care about spoilers. The Great Paldean Crater. That is the fourth story objective. That happens when you complete all three story objectives, and that is the post-game. And while it doesn't start off as much more than an annoying jaunt down into area zero, as it were, and I only say annoying jaunt because the second thing you're supposed to do, it says where it is on the map, but it basically takes away your, free roaming ability on the map. Because every time I tried to go one way, it kept shooting me back, so I had to go the other way. That was annoying, for the record. So, if you want to play the post game, expect your whole open world experience to be taken away temporarily. That said, though, near the end, when everything was all said and done, at least from the perspective of Scarlet, it's probably still the same in Violet, just, slight differences. It was honestly almost as emotional as the Titan thing, just because of. I feel really bad for Arvin. I'll just put that out there. I feel bad for Arvin because of everything he dealt with. That is how I will put how this story went. It's the second saddest for many reasons, but Arvin going through a lot of shit is probably what makes it the most emotional. I'm not gonna delve into any high spoilers, but it involves acceptance and loss and overcoming adversities, more than any Pokemon. Matter of fact, the post game for Scarlet and Violet got more dark than most Pokemon games in the past. We've had, Lysander talking about the G word. We've heard Getsus talking about murdering every single Pokemon to exist and having humans rule if the Pokemon won't bow down to him. Fucking Alola, we were gonna be shot into some other universe or whatever the fuck Luzamina's plan was. My fucking Christ. But this game, this is the darkest that Pokemon has gotten, and I'm here for it. We talked about death. We even gotten a couple of light. We got a couple of light swear words thrown into the story here and there, which honestly a step up for Nintendo, I'll say. But yeah, like as far as sadness goes, it goes Terra, post game, Pokemon League or Star Pokemon League. As far as how I thought of the game as a whole, listen, if a game's story is constructed well enough to make somebody like me who is mostly emotionally broken cry in multiple instances, the story is done right. Like 100% the story was done correctly. Now, the graphics that's the lowest point in the game, like for sure. But maybe a patch will fix that someday. The Pokédex, a nice 400, which is less than half of what the national dex is. But there's a possibility of two things. One, a patch to maybe give us the national dex, or two, a patch to like have a separate Pokedex from the main dex that doesn't have a finite number and you can just like keep trading Pokemon from previous games to like a max amount or something. That'd be kind of cool, honestly. Uh, Level scaling doesn't really exist because you can literally go to any of the story points at any time you want, and they're not scaled to your level. So, like, if you don't know the points you're supposed to go to, then you're kind of SOL. But you can still have fun with it by, like, starting from Mesagoza and going all the way to near where the Pokemon League is and catching level 40 somethings. I did that on accident. Well, not to catch 40 somethings, but I went near where the Pokemon is, so I had that fly point just set from near the beginning. But see, that's another thing. Like, the open world capabilities of this are way better than Legends Arceus. I loved Legends Arceus. It was a really, 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 really fun game. But the open world thing was like only half true because they segmented off shit. But this, the open world is just that. It's open world. You start from a point and they do not really lock down anything. Like, is it difficult to get to some places if you don't have power ups from Koraidon that come from beating Titans? Yeah. But it's not impossible to get to those places if you know what you're doing. Now, I think the only bitch about that is sometimes if you try to get in like certain areas around Team Star bases and you haven't beaten that base yet, they're like, "Oh nope, you can't do that. That's too far in our range." It's like, well, fuck you then. But yeah, as far as that goes, it's really really cool that there's like limited instances that you'll get shut down from trying to go somewhere outside Team Star or the post game bullshit. A lot of the new moves are really cool too. I like how they handled Pokemon centers. You know, they put centers and stores back together in one thing. There's more centers than ever, not just in towns, but also miscellaneous locations. Excuse. I haven't really done the breeding aspect of things yet, but like from what I've seen other people talk about with it, it's an innovative idea. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's innovative, that's for sure. And you can immediately tell when an egg is shiny when you're getting it from the picnic, so that's pretty cool. The Pterodons, the ones I've done, are fun. It is kind of like weird how you're expecting something to be a type based on what it is, but you have to actually pay attention to the Terra type of the den. But that was well done, about as well as Dynamax raids. The waifus in this game, because of course that's a topic I gotta get on, are choice. There's at least two Yuri pairings that I can go for. That's also awesome. So, like, all in all, my final thoughts on the game as a whole, like, bias aside, this is the best Pokemon game that has come out in recent memory. Like, I won't say a game that has been almost as good as far as gameplay goes or story goes or anything like that. I'll just simply put this is the best Pokemon game to come out in a while. And like I said at the end of my actual playthrough, like I will say here again, Nintendo, Game Freak, for this, we thank you. And please, if you do a black and white remake, do not give it back to ILCA or whatever the fuck the company was, because they ruined BDSP. And like between Legends Arceus and this game, the hope for Pokemon games is back, and we really hope you guys don't mess this up again, because this was beautiful, this was amazing. And I look forward to hearing anybody's comments as well down below involving this game and anything else on a non-spoiler free basis. Of course, if you want spoiler involved stuff, stick around, wait for my playthrough, and then you can start mentioning the spoilery stuff to more specific details. Yeah, I appreciate it if you could also hit the like and subscribe button, of course, because I'm on a long trek here for partner, but maybe this game will help, in that direction. I have an anime channel. I'll be catching more stuff up soon as I finish the Pokedex as well. Don't forget to subscribe there. I'm a little under 150 for partner, so that'd be highly appreciated, as well as, just letting some stuff run. All the socials, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, follow them, keep updated with things, as well as ring both bells on the YouTube channels. Twitch, where I'll be streaming a ton of my gameplay, whether it be the shiny hunting, finishing the decks, etc., or whatever else. Don't forget to follow Twitch, subscribe there for benefits, and do so Twitch Prime for free. All of the subscriptions help out immensely. Until next time, been TheBlaziking, sign out, ta-ta for now. I'll see y'all for more of Scarlet later.